My recollection of the first discussion of the sulfidation state was a discussion with Pete Toulmin, in which he visualized a grid, just like the oxidation state temperature grid, that was in common use, I guess, among metallurgists, and it came on over into geology. But he visualized one with sulfur instead of oxygen, or as well as oxygen. And so I think that's where it started, and that perhaps the '63 paper you referred to was an outcome of that thought. And Nadia has really pulled things together very nicely. And, another example of the sulfidation idea carrying out, it would be Alex Brown's work, and I think Whitey was involved with it as well, that's Walter White, on the sulfidation state in the White Pine district in Michigan, that where the transition from a low sulfidation state to a high sulfidation state is visible in a few centimeters across the Nonsuch Shale. You know, the sulfidation study was not very clear, at least in the literature. I think people like Dick Holland understood it quite well, but it was not very clear to the general profession as to sulfidation state. And it wasn't really gotten out into the literature until, was it Buchanan's study? And then followed up by the things that Nora Foley and Dan Haba and Jim Goss did under your direction, Phil.
And Penny.
And Penny, yeah. To recognize it and sort out the high sulfidation, low sulfidation, and the puzzling things that seem to be in between, and have a foot on each shore.
We had the benefit of having several people, Penny and Dan and Nora, and we'd hold weekly seminars at lunch and do, and assign things, and that really came out of that. We chose about a dozen districts that were well enough studied to look at that, look at their geologic environment and their mineralogy and so forth, and that was the basis of the paper. But those were good times. I mean, Julian and Paul and I would sit and talk to these guys, and I think it was a great mentorship as well.